coming to you on a Monday afternoon. Welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us as we've got a jam-packed edition of Mic'd Up today. Fulton is already back on track. The Royals pulled him back in, splitting the series with the Rays and almost taking the series. So we'll talk a little Royals baseball. The full-on Royal caster is in full effect. It is the Shawnee County Sports Banquet Week, which means we've got our Shawnee County Sports Hall of Famers on the show this week. That is right. Some of the best of the best of the best, sir. We have got Chris Barnes, bowling legend, Hall of Famer Chris Barnes, will be joining us coming up at the bottom of the hour. Kevin Borderwick, coaching legend, still coaching, will join us tomorrow in the 2 o'clock hour. Crystal Kemp, basketball legend for Topeka High for KU. She will join us on Wednesday. And then Rick Peterson, the Mr. High School Sports is what we should be calling Rick Peterson, to be honest with you.
Would be fitting.
He is going into the Hall of Fame as well, so we will talk to him on Wednesday. So we got 3 consecutive days with 3 Hall of Famers. A lot to get to today. Mike Wilhoite will stop by in studio today. He is going to stop by in the 1 o'clock hour. We'll talk with Mike, his camp, along with Kyle Weems, coming up on Friday. So we'll talk with Mike and Kyle today. Mike might stay all the way until 3 o'clock. Who knows? He's bigger than me, so he'll just.
We don't. Mike will decide when he gets to leave.
Yeah. So we got a lot to get to, including. Was Juju Smith-Schuster that damn good? Am I missing something? We will get to that coming up in the 1 o'clock hour as well. Let us know your thoughts. Hit us up on our text line, 785-272-9429. Outside of Topeka. Very simple, very easy. Hit us up. Let us know. You can check us out on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/@sportson580. Click the subscribe button. You go to our website, 580www.com as well. You can watch the show. So we got so much to get to on this edition of Mic'd Up. So swing on by today. And today we are going to talk about a Royals team that over their last 9 games is playing roughly 500 baseball. If the Royals win tomorrow, they will be 5-5 in their last 10 games. This is a team that is starting to play a little bit better, maybe starting to figure some things out a little bit. It is a very small sample size.
Incredibly small.
I understand that. But after you start the month of June with losses
2-14
in every single game, but 2 of them, this is something that you look to say, hey,
finish strong.
Maybe this is a positive development. They're going up against a Guardians team for just a couple. Then you bring on the Dodgers, which stinks. That's not great. But this is something that they're watchable here over the last 10 games.
Yeah,
they have been watchable.
That Rays series, outside of one game, was incredibly entertaining.
And even that one game
was entertaining for the most part until the wheels fell off.
And the wheels fell off really because of the 4th inning.
Yeah.
But for the most part, the best team in baseball faced the worst team in baseball. And they split. The Royals are no longer the worst team in baseball record-wise.
No, that can go to the Oakland Athletics once again.
The A's have taken over the throne as the worst baseball team in Major League Baseball. But the Royals right now, over their 3 games, or the 4-game series against the Rays, one, we talked about it on Friday. That's a game that the Royals have never won this year. That's the best win of the year. It's not even a question. It was the best win of the year for what all went in to get that win. And then the Royals, Jordan Lyles.
He has a win.
He's got a win.
They did it.
Not only does the Royals won when Jordan Lyles pitched.
He himself has a win.
He is now
1-14, 1-13.
Jordan Lyles
1-12. He's 1-something.
Jordan Lyles now finally ends his 11-game losing
It was
streak.
bad.
And so kudos to Jordan Lyles, who is 1-11 now.
And the best part of that one was that Jordan Lyles gave up 4 quick runs, and I think we all collectively were like, well, here we go again.
Exactly.
And the offense was like, hold on, guys. No, not this time. 9 unanswered to win that one. That was fun.
It was great, and everybody really had a big piece of it when it comes to that one. Great to see Waters continue to swing a little bit of a hot bat.
That's really good series.
So the Royals starting to be at least watchable. Now it's too late because most people are already done with this team. And that's why I have said this time and time again. You and I different on this. You would rather start crappy, finish strong.
Yes.
I would rather start good, finish crappy.
Because your thought is you get more of the eyeballs to stay with you a lot longer if you start strong.
Yes.
Which is true.
You're
not wrong.
That's the only reason why, because if the Royals do well here in, July and August, nobody cares about the Royals in September. So that is moot. Nobody cares about the Royals in September. But July, August, if they play well, goes back to the question I asked you on Thursday. If a tree falls in the forest, nobody's around to hear it. Do the Royals play better? Do people care? No, they don't. So, but
the tree does make a sound, though.
This is exciting. It really, really is. And Drew Waters was going to be my Royals highlight of the weekend because he has played very, very well, and he is so important for this team because he has the highest ceiling to me of anyone who can play center field. He does to me because of 1, his age, 2, his ability to play defense, and 3, I think Drew Waters has the best bat consistently when he does that. But this has been a tremendous series for Drew Waters, but I can't give it to him. I can't give him the highlight of the weekend because that goes to Daniel Lynch. The Royals were a Taylor Clark don't completely malfunction away from beating the Rays in a 4-game series, winning 3 of 4. And if that would have occurred, then Fulton would probably say that the Rays not only cannot make the playoffs, they'd have to sell the franchise.
Yeah, they would need to be relegated.
So
we'd invent relegation. The Rays would be relegated had they lost 3 of 4 to the Royals.
And this is the best part about Daniel Lynch. And the other aspect too, the 2 guys who really do mean a lot to this baseball team missed the first 2 months of the season.
Yeah.
And that's Drew Waters and that is Daniel Lynch. If you add Daniel Lynch to this starting rotation, we're not talking about this current issue. Maybe even Drew Waters, the same situation. But right now, Daniel Lynch has pitched his best games back-to-back of his career. He went 7 innings, 1 hit against the Detroit Tigers in a 1-0 win.
That was awesome.
The Royals will not win another game the rest of this year 1-0. Like, that will be the only time that they will win a game 1-0. And then you go up against Tampa with their full complement of the lineup.
Yep.
And he goes 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk. Only a couple Ks, not striking out a lot of guys, which in today's age is apparently, awful. Striking out only 2 guys in 6 innings and striking out 2 in 7 innings, you're basically like the ugly supermodel. Like, okay, you did well, but, it's not the way that we think you should do it.
The thing, and here's what I'll say on that, because I'm of the mind, if I had one critique of Daniel Lynch right now, is I'd like to see the strikeout numbers go up. Because as much as, I get any complaint about people going like, well, he's getting the outs, he's getting whatever, why do we care how? The only thing for me in strikeouts is, in the day and age we live in, there is a lot of an importance and ability to miss bats.
Mm-hmm.
And there are times to where, yes, the flyout or the ground out is fine, but there are times where the strikeout is incredibly important and is the most optimal way to get it done. So that's why, do I need to see Daniel Lynch striking out 9 a game? No, that's ridiculous. But can he go to 5 or 6 a game? Is what 2, 2, and 3 in his last 3 starts is a little low for me, because it just means his full complement isn't causing some whiffs. His changeup has been excellent ever since he came back up. It's 2 of the other things, but as long as he's successful right now, that's all I care right now is the success to start. And then we can get nitpicky about, all right, let's go from you can be successful with contact to, all right, can we start missing bats?
I think to me, the more so about the strikeout is there's no chance of a ground ball with eyes or a flare.
You eliminate the ability for bad luck to an extent.
If I would really look at this, and I am not going to go that deep into it, but a better stat to me is just how consistent are you getting softer, weaker contact?
Yeah.
And you can go 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 2 Ks but you're giving up line drives to third, deep fly balls to center, where eventually that is going to hurt you. But if these last 2 starts, and I've watched the first, I watched the game yesterday for with the Royals, coincided with nap time, worked out great. There wasn't a whole lot of hard hit balls. And that's why I'm okay with that. Now we talk about box score watching a lot on this show.
Yeah, we do.
The 2 Ks, 6 hits, 1 walk, one walk, fantastic. It wasn't a ton of deep,
not a lot of loud contact.
No. And that's why that to me,
that's important.
I will that plays either a lot of strikeouts or not a lot of hard hit balls. And if you look at Daniel Lynch, his last 5 starts, he's had 1 clunker, which that is perfectly fine. He's not expected to go 5 consecutive starts
Clunkers
and be
happen.
Awesome. And the clunker just so happened to coincide with maybe the biggest heater that anyone has gotten on this year in the Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah, they were on fuego.
So here's what Daniel Lynch has done. 6 innings, 1 earned run. 7 innings, 0 earned runs. 6 innings, 3 earned runs. 5 innings, 3 earned runs. That's 4 of his last 5 starts. Now, that is something that every Royal pitcher should try to attain. I don't need you to be, prime Justin Verlander. I don't need you to be, 2011 Zach Greinke. I don't need you to be 2014 Max Scherzer. I don't. I need you to be 2023 Daniel Lynch. 5 innings, 3 runs. 6 innings, 3 runs. 7 innings, 0 runs. 6 innings, 1 run.
Yeah.
You get me 3 of those guys. That is a team that can make the playoffs. Then you and then you add 2 other guys on the roster who can contribute, every other start here or there. The Royals will never have a dominant rotation. That will just never happen, okay? And that's why I think this is great for Daniel Lynch. And this is what Brady Singer did. If you look at what Daniel Lynch has done, so far his ERA, and it stinks because he gave up 7 runs in 7 innings to the Reds. So his ERA is going to still be high. His ERA is now under 4. Shout out, the Royals finally have a guy under 4. With a 7-run, 7-inning performance. Okay? So that, to me, tells you just how well he is pitching. And that's exciting. And if you asked anyone of the big 4 between Coar, Bubich, Singer, and Lynch, it was a resounding Lynch has got the best stuff. It's not even a question that Lynch has got the best stuff.
That's been what's been easy to agree upon this whole time. And just to add some data to back up your point about Daniel Lynch not allowing hard contact, that's been the greatest thing this year. Daniel Lynch's first 2 seasons, 44% hard hit rate. Last year, 47% hard hitter. One of the worst in the league. Nearly half the time, guys were smoking balls off him. This year, 34%. He has plummeted his hard hit rate this year. The thing that I thoroughly enjoy above anything else, his ground ball percentage this year, 34% is looking good. Like, he's getting a lot of ground balls, a lot more fly ball outs than he's usually got to, but his line drive percentage, 18%, 8 percentage points lower than last year. So yeah, to your point, to back it up, like, his strikeout numbers aren't where most people would like to see them. They are a little low and to get better, but he is succeeding with all the contact because guys cannot put good bat to ball on his pitches.
Give me this over, hey, he's going to strike out a lot, but he's also going to give up a lot of, I would
Give me this over Brady Singer.
Yes.
Because Brady, when going right even this year, was striking. Brady Singer had the streak against the Atlanta Braves where he gave up 7 runs. He struck out 8. That was awesome. But every out sounded like a shotgun blast going off. Truly, if you need anything, if you're not going to get strikeouts, you can still succeed with weak contact. It's just sometimes weak kind, and then there's, the variables and blah, blah, but that's unimportant. And that's what he's done, and this is why Daniel Lynch has always been the guy that I think has the best chance, because his stuff is the best of anybody's stuff. And outside of Chris Bubich, which that is also still such a bummer that he has to add Tommy John. Got 3 starts, looked great, Tommy John. Bummer. They're the 2, I think, most coachable dudes. Because that's Brady Singer's big problem to me is I don't know how coachable he is. Daniel Lynch this year is doing something he's never done before. He's throwing his changeup as his second most frequent pitch. It's always, up to this point, been his slider. That's always his number 2. This year, he throws his changeup 30% of the time. By far, the most he's ever done this. And he's doing it because I think the coaching staff did something to it. Or even just he did.
It's working.
But it's just, hitters can't touch it. They can't touch that thing. And that's what's leading to success.
We got a lot more to get to. We'll recap the weekend with weekend's takeaways and fails. And then we will talk with one of the Shawnee County Hall of Fame inductees coming up on Wednesday at the Shawnee County Sports Banquet. Chris Barnes, bowling legend on the PBA, Topeka High grad. That's all coming up here in this noon hour. Takeaways and fails here on Mic'd Up. Fulton, what do you got?
Slightly not technically the weekend because it was Thursday, but I can talk about it Friday because I wasn't here. Rat Lauder versus Paul Skeens was the greatest college baseball game I ever watched. That was awesome. Beautiful, amazing. College World Series has been fun so far too, but that was the greatest thing on Thursday night.
No, the most amazing thing involving the College World Series is the sheer fact that the LSU fan base has ingested 37,000 Jello shots over a week and a half span.
They build them different down there in Baton Rouge.
37,000 Jello shots.
They build them different down there in Baton Rouge.
How many did that Jello shot challenge? How do you make that many? Where do you
got nothing.
Store them?
Brother, I got nothing.
Like you gotta have like a couple walkouts. Are they making them during the day? Like is it almost like an assembly line?
I think we need to contact this bar and ask some questions.
That's incredible.
I think we need to contact the joint and ask some questions.
37,000 Jello shots at $5 a pop.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of money.
It's $185,000 just right there.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
Yeah.
That's my takeaway. It's stupid. What is it? The Stanford fans have ate or drank whatever
you do to Jello shots.
800.
I mean, they probably went home pretty early. They've probably been gone for a while.
I mean, LSU is in the championship. It's the championship today. LSU, Florida.
Yep, game 3
after a 24-4 game.
Fun fact: the last 5 teams to be the ones that forced the game 3 won game 2 to force the game 3. The last 5 teams that were the ones that won game 2, they win game 3.
So Florida gonna win?
Florida, by all the usual history, will be the winners tonight.
Oh.
LSU trying to buck a lot of trends by winning today.
Will you watch tonight?
Oh yeah.
No Royals.
No Royals. Too? That's mainly why.
I know they sucked you back in.
Nah.
I went to Sky Zone this weekend, the trampoline place.
How was it?
Man, that was awesome. Kids loved it. Fantastic. I am now tired.
That's fair.
Very sore.
A lot of bouncing.
Yeah. Who would have thought jumping on a trampoline would tire you out?
Yeah, who'd have thought?
Well, when you're old, it does. Coming up, we're going to talk all things Shawnee County Hall of Fame inductees. Chris Barnes, that's right, the bowling legend, joins us next year on Mic'd Up. No Royals baseball today. When you take 2 of 4 against the best team in Major League Baseball, they give you an off day that Monday. So no Royals baseball today. Got Royals baseball coming up tomorrow. They're back at the K taking on the Cleveland Guardians. So we'll get into some Chiefs discussion. Apparently, Juju Smith-Schuster was one of the best wide receivers in the NFL if you want to look at skill rankings as teams, because, boy, according to some metrics, the Chiefs have taken a complete nosedive losing Juju Smith-Schuster. So we will get into that. Kyle Weems will join us in the 2 o'clock hour to preview his and Mike Wilhoite's camp coming up on Friday. So we'll talk with Kyle. We'll talk with Mike. He'll swing on by as well. And we start this week with our tour of the Shawnee County Hall of Fame inductees during the Shawnee County Sports Banquet. It is on Wednesday. It's one of my favorite events of the year. You got the inductees get to make a speech. The intros to them are great. A little roasting involved in that as well. And then we find out who's the best of the best when it comes to the high school side of things. So it's a lot of fun. And to start this year's tour off, we bring in one of the best bowlers in bowling history. He is Chris Barnes. He is a 1988 Topeka High graduate, also a member of the Trojans' 1986 Class 6A State boys basketball team, so multi-sport athlete. He has won 19 PBA Tour titles. He has also been the Rookie of the Year in 98, Player of the Year in 07, 08, inducted into the PBA Hall of Fame. He's also rolled 55 perfect games in PBA competition. That is silly. Chris Barnes joins us here on the Fleming Place Wine and Spirits phone line. Chris, thank you so much for taking the time and chatting with us.
Well, I appreciate that, but I have to go back to that first note you said. So are they saying the Chiefs took a bigger drop because of JJ or Juju than Tyreek Hill?
Yeah,
we all kind of saw how that worked out.
Yes, exactly. You might as well just stay on the line in the 1 o'clock hour and continue that, because the rankings that they've got the Chiefs, apparently Juju was the second coming of Jerry Rice. So we're going to get into all that. You're more than welcome to stay and voice your opinion if you'd like to, Chris. I'm all for that.
I'm still a Chiefs junkie after all these years. It's fun being a fan after a lot of years of it not being as much fun.
That is a fact, no question. Well, Chris, we appreciate you coming on. I got to know, when you found out you were being inducted in the Shawnee County Hall of Fame, what kind of went through your mind?
Man, it's very cool. It's been, I've been on both tours. I'm still competing on the regular tour and on the Codger PBA 50 tour, and but doing a lot of reminiscing about those days and that time spent at Topeka High and the memories created there. And Coach Nicklin is also in that Hall of Fame, and Rick Peterson, who's a fellow inductee, had a lot to do with keeping bowling in the forefront, and he wrote a lot about us when.
We lost Chris Barnes. Hopefully we can get him back here. So we'll get back to Chris. The stats that he has accumulated, like when I say he's one of the best bowlers of all time, he is one of the best bowlers of all time. Went to Wichita State. Currently, one of his sons is bowling at Wichita State. Also, his wife is also a bowler. So bowling runs deep in the Barnes family. But I think bowling is a lot of fun. I think bowling is a blast, and he takes it to a whole nother next level. Sorry, Chris, lost you there for a little bit, but I do want to bring back a little bit on the start of you got into bowling. When did you know that, what, I'm different? I can do this better than a lot of other people. When did you know that?
Man, it was a weird up there. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of great bowlers in Topeka with Bob Benoit that shot 300 on TV, Kelly Coffin that went on tour, Dale Ewer had bowled in the World Cup, Bill Busby had been on tour as well. So, that part didn't seem crazy that could happen, but I wanted to play basketball, and I hadn't come to grips with my genetic shortcomings. Or skill level, I guess, and so I still had dreams of playing basketball and doing things. And as I went around and made some visits to Washburn, Emporia State, and I don't know, Bethany, seemed like a couple other KCAC schools, and I realized I was more of a dime a dozen guy than I wanted to admit, and was fortunate that I made it out of the state to the national finals for bowling that summer. And I was probably the 5th or 6th best bowler in Kansas, so I can do the math. It didn't really add up to being something spectacular. And but once I got there, I realized that all those 5 that were ahead of me back at home were better than just about anybody that was at the national finals. And so I had a friend in high school, Dan Dick, who went to Shawnee Heights. He'd gone to Wichita State, and I knew a little about the program. And then as I dove in more and realized that they're basically like the Duke, North Carolina, Kentucky, Kansas of bowling. If you wanted to, that was the best of the best programs. So went there and got kicked around a little bit. But my sophomore year kind of had a breakthrough, had a lot of great coaching, and took some of that accountability and discipline that Willie taught me playing basketball for him at Topeka High, and turned that into a great career.
So how does one, bowling at Wichita State, doing very, very well, All-American at Wichita State, how does one say, all right, let's try to make this a career? I'm going to be a professional bowler. What was that next step, and how was it? You won Rookie of the Year, so obviously you came out gangbusters right away your rookie year on the PBA.
I did, but through bowling through college, it's a club sport, so I was bowling for a living basically from my sophomore year on, enough to pay some bills at least. And then after I got out, I made the national team. At that time, you couldn't be on Team USA and the Pro Tour at the same time, and so I was getting to travel the world. Amateur tournaments were really at their peak at the time, and so I was making a nice, comfortable living doing that and getting to travel the world and represent my country. And so I did that for 4 years first. So I was 28 when I first went on tour, which gave me a pretty big leg up on competition when I went out there. I was a lot more seasoned than most of the 19 to 22, 23-year-olds. Now they mostly go to college first and are more ready when they come out. But kind of before me, I was one of the first college guys to really to go on tour, and so I was ready from a lot of standpoints, and probably had a lot better go at it than I would have if I'd have gone out at 19 and was just an immature kid with a lot of talent but not much knowledge.
We're talking with Chris Barnes, professional bowler, currently on the PBA Tour and the PBA 50 Tour. He's getting inducted into the Shawnee County Hall of Fame at the Shawnee County Sports Banquet coming up on Wednesday, part of a 5-person class. All right. I got to know about the Player of the Year. I've never been in the zone in bowling, but I'm assuming you're in the zone in bowling. Happened in the 07-08 year when you were Player of the Year. What kind of went into everything that year accumulated into you being the best bowler on the planet?
Yeah, I mean, I was in the hunt a lot. I'm very fortunate. I worked with Rick Benoit, was a tour rep of mine, ironically also here from Topeka. He was kind of for several of the players, but he was our staff rep, and we got to work a lot, and he taught me a ton. And so I was in the hunt a lot of years. I was in the top 3 probably 12 out of 15 years, but was only able to come out on top the one time, and finally had a little bit more success on TV that year, and turned some of those second, thirds, and fourths into a win in the step ladder that you see on Sundays now. Now they're on Fox, so was on ESPN back then, but yeah, it's kind of a culmination of a couple of things. I started working with a new coach out in the West Coast, Mark Baker, and he taught me a couple of things, and one key thing in in some pressure situations, and it kind of got me over the hump. And I wish I'd have done it a little bit sooner, but from that point on, my TV record got way better. I was getting a little longer in the tooth, and wasn't making as many shows as I did before.
When you mentioned how much different is bowling on TV as opposed to not, because that seems to be a big thing in bowling. I will admit I am a bowling novice when it comes to this. But that seems to be such a big deal. And I'm more for is the game the same? Is it slowed down? Do they tell you to stop and start? Because obviously TV runs everything with commercial breaks. How much different is it to bowl on TV as opposed to the first 2 or 3 rounds?
Well, you're spot on. It's just, it's a little bit like golf, except when you bowl on TV, you're just having like a 1 or 2 hole playoff comparatively. So where you play to get to TV, you got some momentum, you get off the first tee box, you kind of get in some rhythm, and you start playing better as things go. And it's very quick. You have a break at 4.5 frames. The lanes are always a little bit different. The lighting, most of the time they have to do a lot of maintenance around there to set up the show, the set that goes around the pair of lanes. And so the lanes tend to play a little different on TV. There's a lot of things that kind of go into it. And then you add in adrenaline and or nerves. And it can be a very challenging situation for some people at the beginning.
You've rolled 55 perfect games. Do you remember all 55 of them?
No, not even close. There's probably another close to 100 non-PBA ones. So, that just means I've bowled a lot more games than most people have. That's all.
Is there something like can you equate it to golf a little bit? I know you're a golfer. Is there something like if you roll a perfect game, what would that equivalent be to golf? Is that, like 5-6 under par? Is that, a hole in one? How would you kind of describe that?
Probably like an eagle.
Okay.
That's probably, these days it's a different thing than it was, 30 or 40 years ago but equipment and technology and everything has changed. And so it's still difficult to do. And it's certainly not something everyone can do, but, it's an attainable thing to get an eagle. And whereas 6 under par is certainly not attainable for me as a golfer. So not unless it's miniature golf. So.
All righty. I go golf with my buddies, or I go, bowl with my friends. Mostly it has a pitcher or 2 of beer involved in it. So if you were to give a guy like me advice on, I don't know, say how to beat my wife, who's actually a pretty good bowler, what tips would you give maybe the casual entertaining person who goes bowling every now and then?
Well, I struggle with the same thing, beating my watch. She's in the Hall of Fame too. That's actually what we both did. But one of the things that's probably that most people try and throw it, with their arms and their shoulders. And the more still your upper body can be, and you use your legs for power. But if you aim with your shoulder and your arm versus creating power with that, you'll be way more accurate. So people tend to bend over way too much and not use their legs. And but you want your upper body to be fairly, slightly forward, like you're in a boxing stance, and it kind of carries through when you throw it as well. You don't want, if your head's out over your knees, then you're in a pretty poor athletic position, and so the ball is going to move you more than you move the ball.
What is your stance on straight ahead shooters and then the people who try to do the spin? Because I try to do the spin, and sometimes it does not work out well at all.
Well, once upon a time, I was on the upper end of the power, and like any other sport, power with some control is a cheat code to success. And the thing now in bowling, and it's what my son at Wichita State is doing, or one of them is he's two-handed now, so he doesn't have his thumb in it, his fingers only, and it's a more athletic move, but it's easier to create power. And if you can gain control doing that, basically all the top players are going to be that way in the next 10 years. The majority of them are now, and in the top 10, and it's moving more and more that way every year.
Is the two-handed bowling, is that kind of a, obviously you said now more accepted, but when that first started, was that kind of, like, whoa, you can't be doing that. That's not what us bowlers do. Is that kind of a
Oh
maybe one of
yeah,
the biggest shifts in bowling?
yeah. It's like a Fosbury flop kind of thing. It's revolutionized bowling in general. Uh, I don't know. It's about 7 years ago, 8 years ago. I came back off tour, and I have twin boys, and one of them's left-handed, and the other one plays a lot of baseball and does a lot of that. The one is a musician, the baseball player and basketball player. He would go mess around with me for a little bit, but tear up his hand, and so he'd start bowling two-handed because he's athletic enough to do it. And it became obvious 7 or 8 years ago that this is where the game is headed, and you can either get on the train or get run over by it, but it's coming either way. So, and so I encouraged him to hop on it and go forward that way. It's turned out pretty good. He was an All-American his sophomore year, and going into his senior year, he's looking forward to following some of the same footsteps, for better or for worse.
Well, there we go. That's awesome. Well, normally in this situation, I always say, well, what are you doing nowadays? You're still bowling. So you're still participating on the PBA and the PBA 50. Give me through kind of like a schedule that you've got. Is it, is there a bowling season like football and basketball, and then you got the off season, or is this just a year-round situation? Take me through what you're doing now, because you're still doing what you are being awarded for being inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, bowling's a different sport, obviously, and it's less physically impactful than football, baseball, and certainly basketball was. So some of that wear and tear has lived on. But I started in late January with the regular PBA tour. They just had the last event for the top 8 was on CBS Sports yesterday up in Washington, which I was not in. Unfortunately, Father Time is beating me there, so that season goes through basically now. It really stopped for most of the tour a month ago, and then from there I had a couple weeks off, and then had the Senior Masters and then the Senior US Open, and now I have 2 weeks, which the Shawnee County Hall of Fame fit into perfectly, and thanks to those guys for including me in that. But now I head out for, I guess it's 8 more weeks. I think it's 8 weeks in a row, going through Chicago, Michigan, West Virginia, Florida, North Carolina, something like that. So I'll end up being done around, there's a couple other smaller tournaments. I'll get to bowl doubles with my son somewhere, and then we'll be done about mid-September.
Oh, cool. All right. This just popped in my head. When you travel, are you flying or are you driving? And if you're flying, do you check your bowling ball? How many bowling balls do you use, or do you carry those things on because they're way too important? Because one of them airlines are going to lose your luggage. You can't be losing your bowling ball.
Yeah, when you fly, and mostly that's international when we fly, you can check in 2 3-ball bags. So 15 pounders, you can get them in just under the 50 pounds. And then carry on your whatever you're going to wear for a week or so. But generally speaking, we'll drive the whole tour, because we'll have somewhere between probably 12 to 18 bowling balls out there for different. And you'll probably not use more than 6 to 8 in a given week, but you don't know exactly what you're going to be on from week to week. The oil they put on the lane can be anywhere from half the distance of the lane to 80% of it. So the lane's 60 feet, we can have 32-foot patterns, or we might have a 50-foot pattern, and then varying volumes and conditions. And so think of more like golf clubs, and carrying around 14 of them is a little too many sometimes in the bowling center. So we'll have 8 or 10 in the bowling center, but and hopefully you're only using 2 or 3, because that means things went well. But just in case game plans come into play, then you have some options all the time.
Alrighty. My last 2 questions for you. We call it 2 for the road. You can just give me short, simple answers, or you can expound. It doesn't matter to me. Is Topeka underrated as a bowling community, from which the history of bowling has been here in Topeka?
Well, certainly historically it has been. As centers go away, it gets tougher on that end. But historically, Kansas has been a huge contributor to professional bowling, both locally in Topeka and then extending on into Wichita. It's some people might call it the actual bowling capital, centerpiece of the world. So, I think it's definitely underrated here in Topeka.
Alrighty. Lastly, who's the best bowler of all time? Who's the Michael Jordan of bowling?
I still have Walter Ray Williams there, but there's a guy named Jason Belmonte right now that's certainly knocking on that door. And I think by the time he finishes his career, he's probably going to be anointed.
Oh, okay.
So,
is he a two-hander? Is he a two-handed bowler?
He is, and he's the one that kind of there was ones before him that were really good, but he's the one that started winning and really made it a problem for the traditionalists. As now it's illegal because he was too good at it, and really made juniors, kids around the country. And you go to Junior Gold or Junior Team USA, any of that, he really put it to the forefront for a lot of kids.
Well, Chris, thank you so much for the time. We appreciate it. Your resume speaks for itself with what you've accomplished. 1988 Topeka High graduate going to the Shawnee County Hall of Fame. Thank you so much for the time, Chris, and look forward to everything coming up on Wednesday.
Well, thank you. I sure appreciate it. And let's just hope Kelsey stays healthy. And it doesn't really matter who's playing wide receiver then.
If you'd like to, you can stay on for the next start of the show, and we can really get into the writer from ESPN who apparently has the Chiefs, the skill groups ranked 19th, whereas last year they were ranked 5th. So we got a lot to get into if you'd like to, but I think you got plenty of stuff to do as well.
I got a couple of things going on, but I'd welcome the opportunity any other time if there is time. I guess everybody wants to be the next Howard Stern, so they just write nonsense to get headlines. So,
well, thank you so much. We appreciate it, Chris.
All right. Chris
Barnes, bowling legend. How about that? 55 perfect. He said he's had like 55 more. That's incredible. That's
insane.
Incredible.
Meanwhile, I stink at bowling.
Bowling is so much fun. I love
it's
bowling.
Fun. I just stink.
Blast. Coming up, we'll get into some Chiefs and their skill positions and why Juju is so important. Fulton on this Monday. It's almost as close to a victory Monday as you can get without being a victory Monday. The Royals take 2 of 4 against the Rays. And which Fulton, we said on Thursday, however many days or however many games that the Royals win against the Rays, we will give away Royals tickets. We gave away Royals tickets on Friday. You were gone. And since they won on Saturday, we were going to give away Royals tickets today. If they would have won yesterday, we would have given away, tickets more. So we will be giving away Royals tickets coming up today. So be listening here on this edition of Mic'd Up. Coming up for Everyone Loves the List, due to, 2 blowouts. The Angels blowing out Dan's Rockies. Good on the Rockies to get 1 run, though. 25-1. Good on them. And also LSU and Florida. Florida beat LSU in a College World Series game 24-4. That's right. You heard that correct. The finals, 24-4 in game 2 to force game 3. We're going to go with blowouts, memorable blowouts. That's what we're going to go with. Ones that really stick in your mind. Blowouts. Okay. It might even be like a November game against Long Beach if you're KU. I don't know. And it depends on your blowout, if you will. I might even throw in a Washburn football game.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember we beat Truman State one year, 64-6. That was fun. I enjoyed that. So if you want to, we got memorable blowouts coming up. That'll be our list. But right now, we're going to talk about skill positions and groups of skill positions. Kind of joked with this. It says here, NFL team wide receiver, tight end, and running back rankings for 2023. Okay? So combine them all. Right? Combine them together. What do we got? So first, in your mind, who jumps out?
I mean, if I'm thinking about teams with really good skill positions.
Yes.
I mean, Cincinnati comes up there because of their receiver group. Yep. They'd be one of the first. I think Buffalo could be in consideration with some of the guys that they got. They're the first 2 that kind of pop up in my head a little bit. The Eagles has some really good skill position players. It's probably the first 3 that all come to my mind.
Well, they've got these ranked. Number 32, Houston. Not a surprise.
That's a big shock.
Carolina, 31.
Fair.
Not a big surprise. Arizona, number 30. Now with Hopkins not there. Understandable. Tennessee, 29. Green Bay, 28. No Devontae Adams, kind of a tough one there. So we know that the Chiefs don't have, without Tyreek Hill, who was a top 3 wide receiver. And I think the top 3 wide receivers right now are Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill. I think those are the top 3. And then after that, you've got the likes of Cooper Kupp and Stephon Diggs. To me, those are kind of those there. Well, we know that the Chiefs don't have, an elite wide receiver. We know they got the best tight end. Running back, Pacheco had over 1,000 yards rushing. Feel like he's a pretty good running back. So we know they're not going to be, top 5. Right? We know that. So I was interested in where they would rank the Chiefs. Well, just to let you know, the Chiefs in 2021, okay? 2021. So that was with Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. Were ranked 6th. Okay? They were ranked 6th. Last year, they were ranked 16th. This year, they are ranked 19th. They are 19th in the NFL in running back, wide receiver, tight end group. Do you think that's right?
It just feels a little low. Because, and they account for the fact of Travis Kelce being the star, and that's why they're so high. They even kind of worded it as that the Chiefs are the best team of offenses built around one skill player. And I think that is correct. If there's any team you wanted to find, if any of the teams with one skill player to build around, the best one is the Chiefs. Because of what Travis Kelce is. I think it discounts how good the receiving group is. And it's not like the receiving group is amazing. It has a lot to prove. But I just feel like acting like they can't do anything or giving them such the shaft is just not right. And then if we're talking skill position, running back goes in there. And I think one of my biggest critiques into that too is did no one watch Isaiah Pacheco finish his season and look really good running the football? Did no one out here notice that? So I'm not, the Chiefs shouldn't be anywhere near the top 10. That I will say is fair because, they're so unproven at wide receiver. But to not have them firmly in the top half of the league just feels off. You're really going to tell me the Chicago Bears have a better overall skill position group?
Exactly.
Really?
I'm glad you brought that up. Here are the teams that are ranked ahead of Kansas City, okay? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I'll hear arguments for that.
I don't even see that. Where are the Buccaneers? They have Mike Evans. That's it. Chris Godwin is a completely different guy after his injury.
That's fair.
I'm sorry, I'm not seeing the Bucs. The Bears. You're going DJ Moore and Darnell Mooney and their group over the Chiefs. The Detroit Lions, same thing. Amon-Ra St. Brown, really, really good. Who else they got? It seems like we ask again. I think Travis Kelce gets undervalued in this situation. Yeah. How many other wide receivers are you taking? Apparently Isaiah Pacheco just is a nobody.
I'm going to just add some further critiques to this as we scroll on the list here. We saying the Baltimore Ravens got better skill players than the Kansas City Chiefs.
Come on,
we're really saying that?
Come on.
Sure, we may know more about the snaps of their wide receiver room. We going to call it better? We going to call Odell Beckham Jr., who ain't played football in a hot minute, deserve it? We don't know what it was going to look like after a second ACL surgery. Rashad Bateman can't stay healthy and is not the greatest football player out there. They made rookie and Zay Flowers, who, yes, is a high draft pick. Haven't seen him play football in the NFL.
Yeah, I kind of... This surprised me a little bit. But also,
the Bears one ticks me off the most. The Bears one makes me the most angry.
Is Juju Smith-Schuster last year and his, 14 games played, 3 touchdowns, 900 yards. Was he that great? Am I undervaluing Juju Smith-Schuster?
No. Juju Smith-Schuster was helpful and filled a very specific role in this team as a second player who could work really well against zone coverage and gave the Chiefs a physical pass catcher on the outside. His value is important. I don't think you're undervaluing it. I think others are overvaluing it.
And this is... Chris Barnes even said this. Oh, yeah, the Chiefs were supposed to completely, struggle on offense, right? We were told that the Chiefs are going to finish last in the division. They're not going to win they're not even going to make the playoffs, right? How many of those individuals we can play that whole entire montage of all of that, right?
Yeah.
And we're doing it the same thing again.
Yeah, we are. We're literally running it back.
And to me, can you separate skill guys with the quarterback? Can you separate those guys?
I think you can.
So they are insisting in this that, oh, yeah, they've got the 19th rated skill group of the NFL, but because they've got Patrick Mahomes, it's all going to be just fine. And that's what they say here at the end. Of course, Mahomes will do just fine with one of the league's worst wide receiving depth charts, given that he just won MVP with a slightly better group a year ago. Outside of MVS, this is a young group. There's a chance that Tony Moore or even Justin Ross. This is why national people bother me so much. Justin Ross isn't even going to make the 53-man roster.
Probably not.
Here are your 6 wide receivers, okay? It is going to be Tony. It is going to be MVS. It's going to be Sky Moore. It's going to be Rashee Rice. It's going to be Justin Watson. And then I really do think people are underestimating Richie James.
Yeah.
That is 6. I don't see Justin Ross. Ready for this? Justin Ross will make the roster if one of these guys gets hurt in the preseason.
Yeah.
Justin Ross emerges as a number 1 right. Come on. As long as Kelsey is Kelsey, the Chiefs will be fine. If he were to decline or suffer an injury, or if they didn't have Mahomes to conduct the orchestra for any period of time, this would look like an underwhelming set of wide receivers. Oh my goodness. Shocker. If they didn't have Kelsey, if they didn't have Mahomes. Hey, guess what? If I could hit every drive 350 yards down the middle and I'd make every putt inside 10 feet, yes, I'd be excellent too. But those things do exist.
Here's
right
the
now.
I really hate pieces that frame things that way of like, if they lose their star from here to sure. I'm mad I can't remember who is the father of this quote. It was with the Colts in regards to Peyton Manning.
Oh, it was Howard Mudd.
Howard Mudd. There it is. I always forget that it was Howard Mudd.
Yeah, I believe
it was Howard Mudd. But simply put, paraphrased here. If the Chiefs lose Patrick Mahomes, they're bleeped. And we don't prepare for bleep.
No.
Like, yeah, if the Chiefs lost Mahomes for an extended period of time, it wouldn't go well. No, duh.
You ready for this? Hey, I'm going to let you know. If the Bears get Justin Fields to improve his deep passing, if DJ Moore stays healthy the entire time, if Chase Claypool really takes a step up, and then David Montgomery really performs well, this is one of the top 10 units. Yeah, I can say that to every single one of them.
Yeah.
Come on. Like,
yeah.
I just...
No, I'm with you.
Me, it's like they look at this group and they just say, okay, Kelsey, he is the best. Like, I'd take 3 guys over Travis Kelsey. I would take Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, Jamar Chase, maybe. But that's it. Yeah. And so you got to include that. By the way, for those of you wondering, number 10, the Atlanta Falcons.
Okay.
Because they've got a running back who's never played in the NFL, a wide receiver in Drake London, and a tight end in Kyle Pitts. I don't quite understand that one either. Number 9, the Jaguars. I can get this. I can. Yeah. Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, Calvin Ridley, Evan Ingram. That's not bad. The Dolphins. Yes, understandably. Oh, yeah. Hill, Waddle, the running backs that they got. Yes. The Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb. You've got the running back. The
good one?
Tony Pollard. Really good. The Vikings.
Yeah.
I mean,
got some nice players.
You got Justin Jefferson. Okay, Justin Jefferson and Travis Kelsey cancel each other out. Okay, who do we got here? Rookie Jordan Addison?
Yeah, there was a lot of weight.
What are we doing
There's
here?
A lot of weight in this put on rookies. And that is the thing that, like, I don't know why we do this. Why we put so much weight on first-round rookies. Because, yeah, could Jordan Addison be a very good player and maybe threaten for Rookie of the Year this year?
All right, ready?
Sure.
Here we go.
I've also never seen him take a snap in the NFL.
All righty. Here's the starters for the Vikings. You got Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and KJ Osborne. Their tight end is TJ Hawkinson, and their running back is Alexander Madison. The Chiefs have, I'd take Pacheco over Madison.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Or if not, they're very even.
Yeah, pretty close.
Okay.
Wash.
Now we're going to say, okay, Justin Jefferson and Travis Kelce cancel each other out.
Yep.
All right. So we're now going with Jordan Addison, KJ Osborne, and TJ Hawkinson. Tony's MVS and TJ Hawkinson are about the same.
I would put TJ Hawkinson over MVS. He's a very fine tight end.
But that's like,
But no, I see your point. Like, there shouldn't be the gap of what? That's like a 15. That's a 9-place gap, a 13-place gap. If I could do math,
yeah.
No, I get your point, and that's why I think part of this particular thing's problem is the weight it puts on rookies.
The Chargers, okay? You got Eckler,
Yeah.
you got the trio of rookie Quentin Johnson. What did I say? Quentin Jefferson. Quentin Johnson. You got
Keenan Allen.
You
got
Mike Williams. Yeah, I get them. No question. Seattle, understandable in that situation.
Yeah, Jackson Smith and Jigba to that pairing of Lockett and Metcalf. Boom, we're done here.
Yeah, they're tight.
And then you just add that their running back room is pretty good.
Yeah, their running back room is pretty good.
Kenneth Walker,
you bet. Philly, totally get that, right? Understandable. With Smith and AJ Brown and Goddard, and then the 18,000 running backs that they've got.
Yeah.
Number 2 is Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Okay. And then number 1, they put the 49ers. And I understand.
I can get that.
I do, because you've got Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, and then Brandon Ayuk. Like, I get that.
Yeah, that's some good players.
I get that.
Yeah.
I mean, the difference between the Chiefs and the 49ers is
they got studs at multiple spots.
And the Chiefs have the main one.
Yeah.
Quarterback.
Yeah. The Niners, like I've said before, are the definition in the textbook for quarterback away. If they just had a good quarterback, they'd be so good. Mm-hmm. The problem is they can't solve it. They can't do it.
We'll get a quick timeout. Coming up next, blowouts. We will get to our favorite blowouts here on Mic'd Up. Alrighty, everyone loves the list on this Monday. Due to the blowouts here recently, sorry, Dan. The Angels beat the Rockies 25-1.
Hilarious.
Florida beat LSU 24-4.
Yeah, I did.
So we're gonna go with memorable blowouts. What do you got? Number 4.
Number 4 for me, national championship game this year in college football. Georgia beat TCU 63-7. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Comedy.
I remember this because this is one of the very first college basketball games I remember. And everybody points to the year later in the Final Four when Duke beat UNLV to go to the title game. But when UNLV beat Duke by 30, that was impressive. They won the title that year, 1990.
Yeah.
I remember that. I was 6 years old.
That was
good. I remember that game. That was the destruction. Yeah, UNLV beat Duke, and then the following year, Duke ended up coming back because everybody thought that year UNLV was better, and then Duke beat him in the Final Four.
That's true. Number 3 for me. This one's just memorable because it was really fun. Chiefs Raiders 2021. Chiefs won 48-9. The Chiefs had a defensive touchdown on the very first snap of the game.
It
was hilarious.
That was the game in which they stomped on the Chiefs logo at midfield.
Yeah.
And then, oh gosh, who was the DB that ran it back?
Mike Hughes.
Yes.
Mike Hughes on the first snap of the game.
Yes.
Fumble recovery for a touchdown.
Yep.
I never stopped laughing that game. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Yep. Mine is the 49ers and the Chargers Super Bowl, in which the 49ers won 49-26, and Chargers got a garbage time touchdown late. It was 49 to 19. That was the destruction. Jerry Rice was awesome in that game.
Number 2 for me. It is only number 2 because we're technically beginning to dance on the definition of a blowout versus just a big win. But UMBC beating Virginia by 20 points. That to me counts as a blowout. I'm putting it 2 because we're dancing on the line.
Okay.
But I think a 20-point win is a blowout. But we are dancing on the line. Okay. I will respect that.
My number 2, Georgia TCU, 65-7.
Insane.
That was incredible what Georgia did to TCU.
Number 1 for me is very simple. Chiefs beat the Bengals 45-10 in Patrick Mahomes' first year as a starter, and that was on Sunday Night Football, and I was like, wow, we really do got that dude, don't we? That was awesome.
I remember watching this game with a bunch of my buddies. It was in 1998. I was an 8th grader. The Bulls were playing the Jazz in the NBA Finals. The Bulls beat the Jazz 96-54. 54! They beat in an NBA Finals game 96-54. I remember that was hilarious. I hated the Jazz. Coming up next, we'll be joined in studio by Mike Wilhoite here on Mic'd Up. What up? Jake LeBon, Fulton Caster with you on this Monday. No Royals baseball today. And in fact, it's kind of a bummer because they're actually somewhat entertaining and competitive right now.
And hey, their benefit is they're about to get to start a series against the Cleveland Guardians, aka a team that I'm not sure knows how to hit a baseball.
So that's positive.
I don't like they can pitch decently well. I don't know if evidence exists that Cleveland knows what it means to take the round bat and put it on the round ball.
So what you're telling me is bet the under.
Not for sure because Daniel Lynch just pitched, which means we're going to Brady, opener,
Lyles.
Zach. Brady, opener, Zach.
Then Lyles. Yeah.
And then Lyles against the Dodgers, take the over.
Yeah.
Ain't no way he's been a back-to-back starts, especially against the Dodgers. Brady maybe take the over because he just sucks.
Yeah,
the other two maybe take the under, honestly, because again, Cleveland can't hit. They don't know how. They're so bad.
Someone who can hit, and
That's true.
He used to hit other people legally. He did it legally.
Yes, let's clarify. This is legal hitting.
He did it legally with pads on. He's one of the best football players to ever come out of Highland Park, as well as Washburn University. He had a terrific NFL career, and now he is coaching for the Denver Broncos. He joins us in studio. Mike Wilhoite joining us. Mike, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm great. I'm thankful to be here. You know, this is home. So always when you come home, you just feel blessed and it's like joy and it's euphoric, you know, just to be around all the people that I know love me and I love them.
You got a big week this week.
It's a big week. I would say it doesn't feel like that. It just feels like excitement. It just feels like I'm very excited. I guess you could call it a big week. I guess I just hate to put that much pressure on it. But I just think that we're excited. We're just very excited. I'm happy. And you know, it's a dream come true.
Second annual Big Kev Give Back Camp this Friday at Washburn University. You can sign up right now. Very simple, very easy. Go to the website, bigkevgiveback.com, I believe.
Yep.
So it's really easy. Big Kev Give Back, and football and basketball. It's a day camp. You're excited about it. I know you're pumped for it. So far, do we got a good turnout, you think?
Yeah, so far we've got 100 kids.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
got a
awesome.
good number. And I think it was on the news yesterday. It'll be on the news again. Us, you know, me being here, Kyle talking to you, I think we'll add to it. Again, it's a dream come true. I want every kid in the city. I want every kid that can to be there. And I want parents to come and I want them to see the love and the energy and the spirit that's going to be in the gym. It's going to be in the indoor facility and it's going to be created by us coaches and just the fact that we're teaching and connecting people to people. So it's 100 kids already and I hope it just keeps growing. I'm excited.
That's awesome. So you're going to be using Lee Arena. You'll also be using the indoor. Might be a little hot. Will you use the Yager Stadium or just the indoor?
Indoor. That's the key is to stay in the indoor. We don't have to worry about the rain. We don't have to worry about the heat. Although it was something today. It's something to that heat that you love. And maybe it's just me. Maybe that's where I'm different.
It might just be you, Mike. It just might be you.
Well, like, I will say this. When you're an athlete, like the heat never bothered me as a player.
Right.
It never did. And when you're young, like the kids who are going to this camp, you know, anywhere, you know, from little kids up to high school kids, man, you love being in the heat, man.
Yeah.
The only difference is now you actually drink out of the water bottle instead of the hose. That's the only difference.
Yeah, that's
the difference.
I agree. And so I'll miss the heat, but it does eliminate, you know, last year we thought it was going to rain. That morning we woke up and it was a little bit nerve wracking. And so just to eliminate that and just to make sure every kid knows that, hey, this is going to happen no matter what, because it's indoor. I'm thankful. I'm thankful to Washburn and to Craig and to Josh Osborne, who have just made it easy as can be and have communicated with us at a high level to make it to make this happen.
So a bunch of former Washburn guys coming back. I know Kyle's got some basketball guys coming back. So you got a whole bunch of counselors working on drills, trying to get better. And also meeting, you know, some good role models. I mean, it's just a good thing. My question for you is, now I'm going to put a little pressure on you here, Mike. You like pressure. You always, rose to the occasion. When are you guys going to turn this into like a 2-3 day camp?
Well, that's the issue, is because, and I'm learning as we're going. And the whole thing about the camp is learning the culture that isn't ours, our culture, and understanding what they like. And so even doing it 9 to 11 and noon to 2 seems very short for a camp like we grew up going to, but it just seems like today's attention span is so much shorter.
Okay.
And today's kids don't practice in the NFL. We don't practice for 3 hours anymore. We don't have two-a-days anymore. We practice for an hour and a half to 2 hours. It's fast and it's efficient. And so that's what I'm trying to do with the camp, is make it fast, efficient. Hey, make it clean for the parents, make it clear. This is what we're doing with the kids. It's safe, it's controlled, it's teaching, it's learning, and do it in an efficient manner, instead of doing the 2 to 3 day camp where kids now have to get hotels and dorms, and maybe it grows to that. Me and Kyle at the end of last year's camp, we sit down and we come up with all these ideas of how we can make this better. And that's why I said Washburn. That's one of the ways to make it better. It's central to Topeka. And we can use the indoor. So
the facilities are fantastic.
Yes. So how do we make it better? Every year is the question. And I think we already have some ideas of things we'd like to do going forward, whether we do the camp we're doing and we make it a whole day, where now it's food, it's rides for kids, it's, something like that. Whether we part off and do like a select camp where you're getting the top 25 kids in the state of Kansas and you're getting on the film and you're teaching, you know what I mean? Really.
Oh, yeah.
So there's lots of ways I think to make it better. And 2 to 3 days, maybe in the future, who knows? I just think that right now we're doing the best we can with what we know and learning today's culture.
We're talking with Mike Wilhoite, who is in town for his camp along with Kyle Weems, and we're going to call Kyle in the 2 o'clock hour. Have you told him that you're coming on today? Because we can surprise Kyle. Because I'd be like, "Hey, Kyle, we got a guest for you," and then you talk to me. He's gonna be like, "What is happening right now?"
That was a good idea when you said it, but I had already told him. I had already told him.
It was a great idea until Mike spoiled everything.
Yeah, I said, well, shoot. He said, I'm going on with Jake. I think this was just 2 days ago or something. I said, well, shoot. I'm gonna text him and see if I can come in there and get on with you. That'd be nice to get us both on. We've never been able to do it together, so. Yeah, that was a good. You were right, though. I should have.
We could have got it, because he would have been like, "Wait a minute."
Yeah.
What we could have done is I could have said, "Hey, we got a special guest here, Kyle. I want him to ask you a question." I wouldn't even tell him, see if you could recognize your voice.
He would have recognized.
We will see how good of friends and brothers you guys really are, and then but we kind of be putting Kyle on the spot. I don't kind of want.
He'd have been good.
I mean, I think it's kind of funny to put Kyle on the spot.
That'd have been all right.
That's just me.
So what are you doing right now? Like, this is the only true off season in the NFL for really everybody, coaches, players. It's that mandatory mini camp that ends, middle of June to July 20.
Chiefs are reporting on the 23rd.
23rd.
And I think a couple other teams are trying like 26.
So this is really your only downtime, right?
Yep, this is it. So I'm here seeing family, seeing you guys, seeing friends, spend some time at mom's house, spend some time at dad's house, seeing close family. My daughter, she keeps saying, "Dad, when are we going to go see the rest of the family?" Because she's just used to when we come to Kansas, we go around and see people. And this year I came a little earlier, so I got some more time. So she's used to moving, and it's like, well, we got a couple of days to just relax.
There we go.
Go to the pool and stuff. So it's been good. Like I said, I got a constant smile on my face. I'm at home, and I know I love a lot of people here, and I know a lot of people love me. And so it's really good energy when I'm here.
So you'll head back to Denver then, next week, something like that.
So
and then just
we're gonna go to Kansas City first, stay with Kyle, because the first time I'll see him will be Friday.
Yeah.
So then we'll stay up there and at his house with his kids and his wife for a week or so, and then we'll go back to Denver. The house is still getting settled in. We don't even have all the furniture in there yet, so that you know how that process is. So
there's nothing worse than moving after you've accumulated so much junk.
Yes,
it's awful.
And then I go from Orange County, where the house is as big as this room, because if you get any bigger house, it's
$18 million.
right. So then you go to Denver and you get a much bigger house for a lot cheaper price. And so then you got to go buy furniture for it. And so, going through that
folks,
process.
he might be an NFL player and an NFL assistant coach. He still has to deal with the same problems we do.
We all got our own issues. That's for sure.
You like the Denver area?
I do like it. I haven't spent enough time there to really fall in love with it. And I'll be honest with everybody, coming from Orange County to anywhere is tough, because you just get spoiled by the weather there. Every day it's the same. So then, here it's in Denver, it's sunny all day, and then it's snowing, or then it's hailing. And you're like, well, how did this even happen? It was just
you'd been gone so long from the state of Kansas. You were in San Francisco and Seattle and then LA. Yep. You did.
Man, you got coddled by that weather.
Yeah.
Now you get the real weather back.
Yeah, you're going to get 102 with humidity coming up this week.
Real world issues. So then we go get an indoor,
Yeah.
We adapt.
Have you been in the indoor yet?
I haven't. I'm excited. I've heard a lot about
facility.
You're going to lose your mind. I'm going to tell you this right now, Mike. When we were playing, or I'm going to go back in our day here. When we were playing on the grass field at Jaeger, where it was not, what the Chiefs are playing on. This is your backyard, essentially. I mean, we were playing on fescue, man. It is the difference that you'll drive by the indoor and you'll go, wow, that is a huge building.
Yeah.
And then you walk in and you go, it's even bigger inside. Like it's incredible. It really is.
Yeah. I drove by a couple times, took the family by, and I'm like, this is so different. I talked to a young kid that she's deciding where she wants to go to college, family friend, and Washburn was one of the ones. And I told her, I said, that place I thought it was amazing when I was there, and to see it now, I can only imagine.
The facility's incredible.
Yeah, and the buildings just around it, Morgan, the science building. I mean, it's just all looks so good, and so I'm happy for him. That's exciting. That's exciting to see.
That's great. Talking with Mike Wilhoite here in studio for a little Big Kev Give Back. The website, bkgiveback.com. Very simple, very easy if you want to be a part of the camp coming up on Friday, June the 30th. And staying with a little bit of the NFL, when it comes to this offseason right now, how do you tell the guys to stay in shape? Like, is it one of those deals where who comes back in shape and who doesn't?
Yep, I don't tell them to stay in shape at all. Literally what I told them, and I know I'm different. I'm sure most coaches do give them a speech, but I told them, I said, I don't need to give you a speech. Y'all know I got Frank Clark in my room. I got Randy Gregory in the room. I got Jonathan Cooper, Barron, Browning. I got a bunch I could name more. Nick Benito. When you have talent and you have a standard so high in the room, no speech needs to be given. Either you come back right or you don't. And if you don't, you're going to get left. So that's what I said to him. I said, I don't need to give a speech. Y'all know how it's going to be when we get here in the fall. It's going to be tight in this room because we got a lot of good players. So either you come back in shape or you don't. That's the decision you have to make, and that lets us know what kind of profession you are right off the bat.
You know, one of my number one pet peeves in sports.
Oh, this is like truly his biggest pet peeve. I know exactly what about to happen.
He is going to agree. Mike is going to agree with me.
I'm not surprised. Mike's about to incredibly agree with you right now. But yeah, this is, I can confirm, about to be Jake's biggest thing he hates.
I can't stand when people say these words. Oh, I'm in the best shape of my life. You're supposed to be. You're a professional athlete, Mike. Your whole job is from right now. Like the guys who are playing in the NFL, all you have to do is work out 2.5 hours a day. That'll get you in shape. Lift for an hour, work out for an hour, and you will look like Mike Wilhoite did when you were jacked up, like that's what you're supposed to. People who show up fat and out of shape, I'm like, you literally did nothing. Like your job is to be in shape. That's your job. I'm not gonna give you a standing ovation or a pat on the back or be like, wow, you look good.
Yeah.
You're supposed to.
Yeah, I talked to some young men this morning and I told them there is no if I'm sore, if I can make it, or I'm not feeling well. There is no choice. There is no choice. I don't need pre-workout to go to my workout. I have to go work out. There is no if I'm excited to be there, or if I get enough sleep tonight, or did I eat the right food? No, I'm going to work out. That's just part of it. That there's no, it's funny because as a coach, most coaches will say to you as a former player, are you ready to work this amount of hours when you get into coaching? And I laugh because I worked more hours when I played, because after I left work, I was getting a massage, I was seeing a chiropractor, I was getting ART, I had some type of routine. Then when I got home, I was watching film till I went to sleep. So it wasn't like I was hanging out and doing nothing when I left the building. No, I'm working all the time, because our body is what we make money off of. So in order to create the best product possible, you have to work on that 24/7. You can't work on that sometimes.
I've asked you this when you played with the 49ers. I asked you, like, who are those guys that are different? You had to work your tail off to get to where you were at. Some guys don't, because they're just, God said, here you go. I remember you told me, Patrick Willis, Navarro Bowman, Vernon Goldston, the Missouri defensive
Justin Smith.
You said that dude was an in. Who are those dudes for the Broncos?
I would say I don't know them well enough to say that, to name who. I would say,
because you guys it's been what, 3 months?
Yeah, I would say this: the attention to detail, the energy at practice, the eagerness to learn is within the building. You see it within the coaching staff, all the way down to interns, coaches. The communication level is high, and Sean does a good job of creating that energy and that intensity, but it feels like it was already here to a certain aspect. It feels like what's in the building are good people.
Is he more of an old school coach or new school?
I would say the beauty of him is he's a combination of both. He's similar to what I've heard about Andy Reid, where he can relate to the old school and the new school.
Because everyone talks about how the Chiefs training camp is just awful, like so hard.
Yes. So you'll have that.
Yeah.
But then you have the other part of it where he's going to take care of you on the flip side. We're going to have all the best recovery equipment you can buy, because we're going to put in the work, and we're going to continue to ascend all season instead of maintaining. But with doing that, I'm also going to take care of you. I'm going to tell you guys, when we go play at Soldier Field, put your screw-in cleats on, because the field is slippery. Yeah.
Is it that bad?
Yes.
Is it really?
Yes. I'll tell you a good story. So I think it's called My Cleats.
Yeah. Yep.
And you get to do your own cleats. So I had a pair of cleats I did for a close family friend. She had cancer, and I wanted to salute her with the cleats, and I didn't get to wear them. Because the field was so bad. The field was that bad, and I had to wear screw-ins. But to that point, Sean will say wear screw-ins. Then on Monday, he'll have a pedicure. He'll have everybody on the team get a pedicure. He'll get everybody a free pedicure.
Man,
and so he's going to take care of you. So
are you team pedicure?
No, I'm not team pedicure.
Oh, have you ever gotten one?
I've gotten one.
Man, they're great.
I'm too old school. I'm like.
Hey, I'll admit it. I got one.
Fair enough.
I got one like a month ago. Man, my feet never felt this good. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I can confirm that as well, because he spent like half the day walking around the station telling us about that, telling us all to get pedicures.
I'm telling you.
That was, I think, one of the first 3 things you said to me that morning was, "Have I ever gotten a pedicure?" And when I said no,
I was like,
you were like, "You have to get one."
Yeah, you do. All right, Mike, we'll keep you around. You can stay as long as you'd like. We got Mike Wilhoite in studio. Once again, bkgiveback.com. We'll talk with Mike and Kyle Weems coming up next. On this Monday, Jake and Fulton Caster with you. No Royals baseball today after splitting the series with the Tampa Bay Rays. Royals off today. We'll be back in action coming up tomorrow on Tuesday, back at the K. Speaking of which, we do have to give away some Royals tickets. We said if they beat the Rays, we will give away tickets. We gave away Friday. We'll give them away today. A lot of ways to get in touch with us. Hit us up on our text line, 785-272-9429. Outside of Topeka, still the same number, 785-272-9429. Check us out on YouTube. Very simple, very easy. Go to youtube.com/@sportson580. Check us out on our website, 580www.com. Very easy to get a hold of us here on this edition of Mic'd Up. We've got Mike Wilhoite in studio joining us, talking all things Big Kev Give Back. And once again, the way that you can sign up for the camp on Friday, June 30th, go to bkgiveback.com. That's the letter B, the letter K, giveback.com. And you can see the photo of the montage and the collage of Kyle and Mike. Mike, real quick, before we bring on our next guest, what color should we give away Royals tickets? What do we want to do? What color do you want to give away?
9.
Caller number 9, you get your choice of a game. 2 seats, lower level, 4 seats, upper level. To the Royals. When was the last Royals game you've been to?
With Kyle and his wife, probably 3 years ago,
3
maybe.
years ago?
Yeah. I need to get to one. I need to get to a game somewhere. I think I was out in L.A. and didn't go to an Anaheim game.
You didn't go see Mike Trout?
Sad.
You didn't go see Ohtani?
Sad.
Disappointing.
Well, it's
It
'cause
is.
he's
I'll use that word.
Yeah, it is. It you know, I didn't even. And you know
I got
what's
a
funny?
big wall of glass protecting me. I feel a little good.
I didn't even think about it till I left either. I left and I'm like, how did I not? I didn't. I was too busy riding my bike.
Huffy.
No, it's a
That is a
Trek.
nice bike, boy.
Well, right now we are going. Well, caller number 9, real quick. Caller number 9, 785-272-9429. You get your choice, Royals tickets. You can do 2 tickets lower level, 4 tickets upper level. Let us know. But caller number 9, right now, you are a winner. Right now, though, we are going to go to the phones and we are going to bring in the other half. I don't want to say the better half, but maybe the better half of the Big Kev Give Back Camp, which will be this Friday. Kyle Weems joining us on the phone. Kyle, how are you doing, my friend? You're in Orlando right now. You're back in the States.
What's up, fellas? Yes, I'm stateside, and there is nothing like the U.S. of A. I will tell you that.
See, it's funny because I'm not going to lie to you, Kyle. If I told my wife right now, hey, sweetie, we're going to go to Italy, she'd be the happiest person in the world.
Yep. Yep. Grass is always greener.
Man.
Oh, man. So you're back in the States. What are you doing right now in the States?
Just got back late Saturday evening. Obviously saw some immediate family members yesterday during the day. We had a 5:30 in the morning flight this morning to hang out with some more family and friends down here in Orlando for a couple of days. And then I'll be heading back a day early from our vacation for the camp. So I'm excited. You know, I like to try and give myself 100% to my family as soon as the season is over, because it's been such a long 10-month season, and so this is some of my favorite days out of the year.
Speaking of a long season, your season just finished. I know not on the happiest of notes. You guys fell Game 7 in the Italy League. So didn't go exactly the way you wanted, but great fight back to get to Game 7 there. But making it to the title game, not bad there in Italy.
No, it was definitely obviously a super disappointment. We lost the game towards the end of the regular season that, in the long run ended up biting us in the butt because we didn't have home court advantage. And, each game, the home team won in the finals. So tough pill to swallow, but, that's the way sports is sometimes. I've been a part of some championship runs, and I've been a part of some second places. So, but overall, it was a good season.
Well, since the season is over, what's the next step then for you? Are you playing over there in Italy? I know it's kind of year-to-year contracts, that type of thing. What's the next step for Kyle Weems?
So I'm in negotiations right now. My agent, myself, and another team in Italy. Nothing's really set in stone yet. Still got to iron out some things, but it's looking like I'll be going back to Italy to one of the top teams that's in the top 4. It's not really for sure yet. So, but I'd like to speak it into existence. But whenever that is for sure, I will obviously get that up on my social media and be letting all you guys know.
So same kind of situation, go back there playing in the same league. Will it be weird going to play against I'm going to butcher the name, Kyle, it looks like Bologna, but it's not how you pronounce it.
Virtus Bologna.
Yeah. Will it be weird if you end up going back there and being on the visitor side of things?
Oh, 100%. 100%. These are some of the best 4 years of my life. It had really kind of like a similar feel for me personally, kind of like the fan base at Missouri State. Just the fans were diehard. They were real personable. A lot of messages through social media, a lot of pictures, a lot of autographs, when you're out and about with the fam. So I had a special connection from day one. They helped me out through a tough time when I lost my father to lung cancer back in 2019. And we just became closer and closer. And and I'm forever grateful for spending my 4 years there. But it'll definitely be an emotional night whenever I go back.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why they called you the mayor, right?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Okay. You don't like talking about yourself. Mike doesn't like talking about yourself. You don't like talking about yourselves. I get that. That's what I'm here for. So yeah, they called you the mayor for a lot of reasons. Kyle, one, you're very personable, and two, you're really good at shooting a basket into a hoop 10 feet in the air. So that works out well. Speaking of that, talking with Mike, how excited are you to have already 100 kids signed up for this camp on Friday?
Super excited. Really looking forward to it. Mike and myself and Washburn. We had Josh Osborne help us out along the way. So very excited for the work that's been put in from all angles, and ready to get there Friday morning and be able to have some fun.
What I want to know is, will there be a camp counselor basketball game? That's what I want to know. I want to know if you and Mike and I don't know if any of you basketball guys got enough beef inside to handle Tony Girardetti.
Yeah,
I don't think we do either.
I don't want any parts of that.
Yeah.
You haven't worked on your jump shot at all, Mike?
No, and that's a lot of old people trying to be something they're not anymore.
So you're telling me you haven't faced off Kyle a little one-on-one? You haven't done that in a while?
Nope, I don't want any problems.
Not at all.
I don't want any
That's
problems.
That's like asking, have I done the Oklahoma drill with him in the last 5 years? That's a super no.
I don't want any issues.
When was the last time that you guys played like basketball? Would it have been like back in your college days then?
No, it was yeah, I'd have been just going into college. I remember I took Kyle back home to Manhattan for a day.
Yep.
To my mom's house, and we went to a gym, and there were some random kids in there, and it turned into Kyle. We're on a fast break, and Kyle's throwing the ball off the ground, off the backboard, catching it, dunking it, and and at this time, I think he played AAU, and he was just about to go with Missouri State, and I'm serious, because I'm competitive. I want to win, and Kyle's just playing around, joking around, dunking.
We took intramural basketball way too serious.
Yeah,
Mike. We took it way too serious. I now look back at that going, yeah, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, I've always wanted to get Kyle to go to some tournament or somewhere I go that plays basketball, but I don't think it would be worth his time.
Well, I asked you, Kyle, I told you, I said, when was the last time you played a pickup game? You said, Jake, it's been like 5 years. I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, no, I think the last time I played in a pickup game might have been in a Pro-Am game in Kansas City. And then right after that, after I played Summer League with the Hawks, I think I came back and played in the Sunflower State games. And honestly, that's probably the last time.
Yeah.
So about 2013, 2014.
Age.
10 years. Yeah, you ain't risking it now. You ain't
mileage.
risking it.
Nah,
that's mileage.
Mileage. Not worth it.
Nope.
Not worth it. Got to rest the bones. And like Mike said, got to keep those miles off.
10-month season, though. August till June. That's real. That's really real. That's overseas.
A lot of practices, a lot of travel, a lot of shoot arounds, and it's not like the NBA shoot arounds where you just kind of come in and shoot around a little bit. No, you're actually it really should be called a run around, because it's an hour of just running around, waking your body up before you actually have to play the game. But
what's the biggest difference? I know, Kyle, you've told me this before, but what is the biggest difference between the style of game between the NBA and overseas? Because it is a very different type of game.
I think the major difference would be there's no defense of 3 seconds in Europe. So, I mean, teams are just as tall, just as athletic as NBA team, but then their 7'2" guy can sit in the middle of the paint and doesn't ever have to leave. He doesn't have to go up and really guard the ball screens if he doesn't want to. I mean, most do, but so the paint is really clogged. So you really got to be able to make fast, quick decisions whenever you put the ball on the floor. You got to be able to shoot, otherwise you'll get exposed. And also, being able to knock the ball off of the rim. If the ball hits the rim, it's just like the Olympic rules. You can swipe the ball off and start the fast break the other way, as opposed to in the NBA, that's offense goaltending. So I would say those two rules are definitely what make it different.
You mentioned the FIBA rules, where if the ball's on the rim, you can just go up and grab it. How long did it take you to understand that? And when you bring in somebody from the States to play over there in Italy or the EuroLeague or wherever, you can always tell who has played overseas and who hasn't, just probably by the understanding and the habit of taking it off the rim. Like if it's an easy layup and just rolling around the rim, somebody who's been in the European side, they go up there, poke the ball out, and off we go. I bet you can really tell the difference.
No, for sure. European veteran guys definitely, pick up on that, a little bit quicker. And I had a teammate actually from Kansas, from Ottawa, Shimi Ojale. It took him a while to figure it out. But I don't honestly think, because we don't grow up playing like that, it's something that you can never really truly get used to. You just hope that while you're tired, resting at the free throw line, that just in case it's a miss, you're able to jump up there high enough to poke it off. But I don't think that it's truly anything that you can become totally comfortable with. It's kind of just luck.
Should the NBA adopt that rule?
I say yes, for a selfish reason of I've been having to play like that for 11 years. But for the entertainment side, for the NBA, I would say no, because people go to see the ball, be put in the basket, not for it to be swiped off. So, I don't think NBA fans like too many games, 70 to 65.
We're talking with Kyle Weems. He is on the phone. Mike Wilhoite here in studio here on Mic'd Up. We got the Big Kev Give Back Camp coming up on June 30th. It is bkgiveback.com. Very simple, very easy. bkgiveback.com. Click sign up. So simple, so easy. The website's terrific when you want to kind of figure out what's it all about. It's got great tabs at the top, very easy to work with. I want to continue to ask you about overseas. The number one pick, Victor Wembanyama. Did you ever play against him? Seen him play overseas? I know he's there in France, and I don't know if the EuroLeague you ever had a chance to see him play against him. Have you? I'm curious what you know about Victor.
So, funny story is I've never got to play against him, but I was actually in the same team / he was in our youth program then in a suburb of Paris called Nanterre. That was my third year when we won the Euro Challenge. And he was like 10 years old then and already my height. So he's 6'6", 6'7" at the age of 10. And they weren't even playing on regulation baskets. So they were playing like on an 8.5-foot rim. And I think they won every type of championship that was possible in that youth league. And he was dunking all over people on an 8.5-foot rim. So everybody kind of knew he would be special then. But to see him grow into what he is now, I mean, he's literally a cheat code. Being it to literally he doesn't even have to get the rebound. He's blocking your shot to himself, dribbling up the court and shooting one-footed, 25-foot threes, nothing but net. I don't know if we've really seen anything like that before, except maybe Kevin Durant, I guess. I don't want to put him in that same stratosphere yet, but he's definitely talented, and I think he'll have a hell of a career.
Different.
Do you worry about injury because he's so tall and so skinny?
Yeah, I think obviously his body still has to mature. He's pretty frail right now, but honestly, he's grown into his body pretty well over the last year or so. Between Paris last year and the year before in Asvel with Tony Parker's EuroLeague team. So I think, the only thing that will help with that is time, reps. And I think, honestly, he struck gold when he was able to get drafted by San Antonio, because you see what they've done with their number one overall picks. All of them have been Hall of Famers. So he's definitely in good hands.
Like I'm talking about this guy. He's 19 years old. I mean, he's a child. Mm-hmm. When it comes to all of this, I got to remember that is he going to be, I mean, I look back at Joel Embiid, like Embiid when he was a freshman. Now he's huge.
Yeah.
Like Joel Embiid is a monster.
Yeah.
And he was skinny. I remember him at KU. I mean, he was just this skinny guy trying to do the dream shake, and now he's 7'2" and weighs 280 pounds, and I'm hoping Wembanyama can improve it, because he is. I mean, did you see the photo of him next to David Robinson and Tim Duncan? Have you guys seen that photo?
No.
Makes him look like a point guard. crazy.
That's incredible.
It made Manu Ginobili look like he was like 5'10".
Right?
Yeah, that's different.
Like David Robinson is right next to him, and Robinson looks like he's 6'8",
Yeah.
and he's a 7-footer. Like that is a great photo of just the sheer size of what Wembanyama, just the height that he is. Like that's incredible.
19
years old, man. Well, so your off season, Kyle. You're gonna come back for the camp. Mike says he's gonna stay with you for a little bit, and is this kind of just a relaxing time for you?
Yes, for sure. Resting the bones, spending a lot of time with friends, family, with my kids, and getting back in the gym here pretty soon, probably sometime the beginning of next week, and just starting to prepare for the next season. But most importantly, just enjoying family and friends.
See, you got to talk about getting back in the gym. Do you still wake up at like 5 a.m. and work out, Mike?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes
Yes,
earlier. But to the point, what year is this for you, Kyle? Coming up?
It'll be year number 12.
He's year number 12. He just got back. He was in game 7 of the finals. I'll get back in the gym pretty soon. Every year he comes back and he's like, it's like a week goes by and he's like, yeah, I got to get back in the gym. I got to start eating right. And I'm looking at him like,
he got withdrawals.
I promise you're not out of shape. I promise. Trust me. There's so many deposits in the bank. You got plenty to withdraw.
He's like, what's his name off the Chappelle show? He's like,
that's how you get to year 12.
You got any of them jump shots that I can shoot? I need some of them jump shots.
Yep.
That's what I need to do now. When it comes to the camp, Kyle, is there something that you want to let everybody know about when it coming up on Friday?
I think maybe one of the main things is it is co-ed. If we bring your daughters, bring your sons, we welcome everybody, and we're just really excited to be able to market this thing and get it more centralized. Last year we had a good turnout out at Shawnee Heights, but we really wanted to get it back, centralized where it's a fair shot for everybody to get there. It's not, too far away for some people. And, so credit to Mike for being able to set that up over there at Washburn, to be able to use their great facilities. So boys, girls, doesn't matter. Come on out and, spend some time with us.
Age ranges? What do we got?
9 to 17.
Yep.
9 to 17. So nine is what? That
about to be in the
grader?
5th grade.
Probably about third or fourth grade.
Yep. Okay. I don't have the kids old enough like you guys do, where I'm at 3 years old.
Yep.
So, I'm just like, someone told me, Jake, what are you going to do with preschool? I was like, man, I'm not prepared for that at all. So you guys know the age ranges and all of that. So no, I got to give you guys credit there. Kyle, we appreciate you taking the time here, starting kind of your vacation down there in Orlando. Stay safe. Don't go near any gators. And we will see you coming up on Friday.
Sounds good, man. I appreciate you guys having us on. Thank you.
Kyle Weems.
All right, Kyle.
You're 12. There
Year
you
12.
go.
Year
I got to
12.
get back in the gym. Y'all are nuts.
Year 12.
Y'all are crazy.
It's an addiction. It's truly an addiction. I mean, that's especially now that I'm older and I'm not working out for my living. It's an addiction. And what's funny is, so I'm transitioning to Denver right now. I'm my family's still in LA so that my daughter can finish kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going back every weekend, every Thursday evening, and flying back every Sunday. And I've taken probably at most a week off in the last 2 years. And when I played, I'd take a week or 3 or 4 days off right after OTAs or something. Well, man, I could feel my nervous system was shot. And probably about a month ago, I just quit. I quit working out. I quit getting up early. I said, I can't anymore. I'm too tired. I have nothing I'm working out, and it's I'm just there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I haven't worked out now in about 3.5 weeks, and I've eaten whatever I wanted.
For the first time since when? Ever?
This long?
Yeah.
I did one other time when I was playing, but I was traveling, and I went 6 countries in 21 days. So I didn't work out then, but that's the only other time. It's the only other time.
It's the good life, isn't it?
It feels pretty. I do not regret it. No, I'm ready. I'm ready to get back, but I will. But it's definitely an addiction. It's something that I think that, it's your routine. It just becomes routine for me to get up. Now I wake up at 6 no matter what.
So when you see guys, in the NFL, because I'll relate it more to the NFL, who are, people talk about Tom Brady, and I get it. He was 43 doing what he was doing. And I understand, but he's also playing the, best position to do that. Right. Yeah. I mean, if you breathe on the quarterback now. It's 15 yards.
Right.
I'm looking at the guys, who, like, to me, and this is what's crazy about this, and I'll look it up real quick. We talk about Travis Kelce, right?
Yep.
You obviously know all about Travis Kelce.
Yep.
He's 33, and we're like, when's the downturn going to start happening? He's 33 years old. Then I look at like Tony G. Tony G had 8 touchdowns, almost 900 yards, started all 16 games when he was 37.
Yeah.
Like those guys. Like
who's better?
I think Travis Kelce is, because I think he's got a little bit more wiggle, yards after the catch. But I mean, Tony G put up 930 yards, 8 touchdowns when he was 36 and was first team All-Pro at 36.
Yeah.
So like longevity wise, I mean, it's Tony G, but if you want to talk about their peak, I would have to go with Travis Kelce just because what he was able to do. I mean, was it 6 straight years of 1,000 yards? I mean,
truly different era. When Tony was playing, it was 21 personnel and 12, and he was attached to the formation. He was running.
Yeah, he was always right at the end.
Right. When we were playing even.
Yep.
And now I think one thing that makes Travis so dynamic is Pat Mahomes and their connection and their understanding of where each other is going to be and what the coverage is and where to find those holes. Travis is unstoppable with Pat. I think Travis is really good with Alex and with anybody. I think he's a great tight end, but I think, I think their connection is unbelievable. But I think they're definitely, it's a great conversation to have because they're both so good. I mean, they're both unstoppable.
This is where, Mike, I feel good luck trying to stop that.
Have fun with that.
Yeah.
Anywhere in the AFC. The AFC.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Everybody.
Yeah, I will throw this into the Travis Kelce, Tony Gonzalez conversation here for a minute. This season, and I'm not going to say if, I'm going to say it will. Travis Kelce is going to be the Chiefs' all-time leader in receiving yards and receiving touchdowns this year. He is roughly 600 yards behind Tony Gonzalez for yards. He is, if my math is right, and I'm really bad at math, 7 touchdowns away from tying Tony. Given his averages, he will cruise past the receiving yards this year and will likely get a few touchdowns ahead of Tony G this year.
Yeah.
And he will have done it a lot faster is the wording I have to use for that.
It is. That's the one thing about comparing eras.
It's two vastly different eras of football.
Yeah.
Just it's so much different now.
Just like the NBA.
Yeah.
Back then it was post, it was size, it was toughness, and
now it's just get behind the arc and just let it fly.
Yep.
Well, like I said, we talked about blowouts, and we'll get a quick break. I'm gonna ask you this. We talked about the big blowouts that have been happening recently. I remember in the NBA Finals, I was an 8th grader. It was 1998. I don't know if you remember this, but it was the NBA Finals, Jazz versus Bulls. The Bulls beat the Jazz 96 to 54 in an NBA Finals game. 96 to 54. 54 points. They held a team to 54. Now I know that the Jazz didn't probably try in the last, 6 or 7 minutes.
Yep.
But you got guys scoring 54 in a quarter now in the NBA. It's a different game. It really is.
Yep.
We'll get a quick timeout. Got a little overreaction, proper reaction, much more here on Mic'd Up. Last few things with Mike Wilhoite here. Mike, I do have two for the road. I always ask two final questions for every single individual. So my two for the road is: what is the biggest blowout that you were ever a part of? Football.
There's one that comes to mind. But I was on the losing side of it.
All right, what's that?
To Pitt State at Pitt State.
I don't want to talk about that one either.
It was probably my senior year. It was bad.
Oh, it was your senior year. See,
yeah.
We lost to Pitt State at Pitt State. We lost to them 77-14.
It was something like that.
Lord.
Yeah, and then we beat them the very next year. That's why it was a big deal.
Okay.
My freshman year, we lost to Pitt State. That's when they had just studs on that team. They lost in the title game that year, all because their tailback, Jermaine Reyes, got a concussion in the first quarter, and he couldn't play anymore. But we lost 77-14, got smoked. And then the next year, that was 2004. Then in 2005, we beat them at Yager Stadium for the first time in 30 years.
Sitting here, I can't think of any blowouts where I was on the winning side, but I can think of a bunch of blowouts where I was on the losing side. And it just shows you how messed up.
Yes.
That's what I remember. Not the wins.
Yeah,
but
not
the
the ones
losses.
where you're sitting there cruising, chilling. You guys are on the defensive side, just like, man, we've lost like 10 points. We're good. You're kicking the feet up. No, it's when you're out there just getting shelled.
If you ask every professional athlete or anybody who's played at a semi-high level, if I ask Kyle right now, Kyle, what is the memory that sticks out to you most? He's going to tell you a shot that he missed, or you're going to tell me a tackle or a fumble or an interception that you dropped.
For sure.
You go back to the plays that you didn't make as opposed to the ones that you did make.
That's not it. That's not that's why we have counselors. Psychologists.
Honestly, yes.
Meditation.
I'm trying to remember.
For Jake, it's remembering all the times he was tackled at the 1 yard line.
At the 1 yard line. Yeah.
We need them. That's what I mean. Seriously, that just goes to show you how we are as humans.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Alrighty. Lastly, my last question for you, Sean Payton.
Mm-hmm.
Give me one word to describe Sean Payton.
A lot of words come to mind.
Mm-hmm.
The two that are real and swag. A real guy. He could sit in here right now with us, have a great conversation.
Just shoot the BS.
Be great. Swag, because he can sit in here with us right now and have an easy conversation with us. And that's him. And you're going to work hard. You're going to work long. It's going to be productive, and you're going to learn. You're going to be disciplined. You're going to be tough. You're going to be smart. But I would describe him as a real and swag. He's got swag, and he's real, and he's going to keep it real with you, and you're going to know what he wants. You're going to know what he thinks, because he's going to tell you, and that's all you can ask.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so thankful.
Well, we appreciate you stopping by, Mike. I always tell people, last thing I'll leave you with this. Mike calls me up. This would have been in like 2011? 2011?
Yep.
Mike calls me up and says, Jake, I don't think I'm going to be able to come in and work part-time here at the station. And I'm like, why? What's going on? I feel so bad. I got a midweek tryout with the 49ers. I think I'm going to take it. Yeah, Mike.
You are. There's not an if. There's not a maybe. There's a you're going.
And then Mike sends me a text like, yeah, I made the practice squad, so I'm not going to be able to. I was like, Mike,
it's fine,
buddy. You're totally good. And then he was in the NFL for 7 years. I will always remember that.
Priorities.
He had to call me, and you felt so bad.
Priorities.
You felt so bad, man. But yes, Mike, we appreciate you stopping in. Always enjoy to see you, and have fun. BKGivebackCamp.com. Looking forward to it on Friday.
This is home. This is a dream come true. Can't wait to see everybody there. A lot of real good coaches, a lot of real good people, and we're connecting in the community. So thankful for being here. Thankful for you guys, and I can't wait.
That is Mike Wilhoite. Appreciate it, Mike.
Thank you, Jake.
Mike's a busy guy. He's got to go, shake hands, kiss babies, do all that kind of stuff.
The mayoral stuff.
Yeah,
That's what happens.
He looks good. And he's finally adopting the dad life. He'll never have a dad bod, though. I don't think he could ever have a dad bod.
Give it to him like he's like 68 and maybe we can start creeping in there.
But yeah, see, that's the thing. First thing he thought of, too. I didn't mention that in the blowouts because I wasn't about ready to bring up,
We didn't have time, Jake. We didn't have time for you to bring up anything that you've had bad happen to you.
But that's why I didn't put it in my. I just didn't want to talk about it.
No, that's fair.
I didn't want to talk.
My thought would have been, I would have had to ask a lot of questions. Man, I'm going to probe those.
Absolutely destroyed that game. Oh, it was bad. But then next year we won 35-34.
Nice.
In overtime. There you go. Funnest game I've ever been a part of. So the funnest game I've ever been a part of was the same team that was the worst football experience I've ever been a part of. Yeah, we lost 77-14. Real bad. What also stinks is that was the very first game that I caught my very first pass in.
Really?
Yeah, because I was a freshman that year.
Oh, it got so bad you actually had to get the field.
Put me in there, yeah.
It got so bad, like, all right, get in there.
Yeah. I mean, it was, I just played special teams. I was, on kickoff, return, and punt return and punt and all that kind of stuff. I never played as a freshman, but yeah, that was my very first pass that I ever caught was in that game. Caught 2 of them. There you go.
How does it feel standing on the sidelines while you're watching a team put up 77 on you?
It was awful. And they were a juggernaut that year, man. Neil Philpott was the quarterback. Jermaine Race. I mean, they were awesome.
It make me feel sick to my stomach.
They ran the option. They just bulldozed you. Oh, but that was like the eye-opening. That was like the eye-opening game for everybody who played on that. Like, if you want to be that good, if you want to be at the top, that's what you have to do. And then the next year, we won the league. We went from getting beat 77-14. I think it was 77-14 or 77-10, maybe. Now I got to look it up.
Now we got to go into the archives.
But the next year, we ended up winning the league in 2005. So great stuff from Mike and from Kyle. Gonna go play in Italy again. 11 years as a professional athlete. That's
heck of a run.
Yeah. Let's see. It was 2004. We lost that year, and the score was 70-14. I got.
No, you gave him an extra point.
I gave him an
7 points.
They scored so many times, I thought they got to 77. Yeah, 70-14. We got beat in Pittsburgh. That was a tough one. Do you got an overreaction, proper reaction?
I do. I got a little fun one for it. That at least is the level of it. Could be so entertaining. Overreaction, proper reaction. By the time this season is over, the Royals will have had 1 month where they went 500.
That's an overreaction. No.
Even in September when no one cares.
Overreaction.
They've done that before.
Overreaction.
This is how far they've reeled me back in. I think like September, they will find a way to be like exactly 500.
That's overreaction. Here's the reason why.
It's not going to keep them from 100 losses. I'm going to make that clear right now.
They've got 3 months left. July, August, and September.
Yeah.
There's nothing. We're talking about right now that they're playing a good stretch, and they're 4-5 in their last 9 games.
Yeah. September, they just got to go through Boston. White Sox, Toronto. Okay. White Sox, Houston. Okay. Cleveland, Houston. Okay. Detroit. And then, they wrap up the year with the New York Yankees, who are also really just not good.
Let's see. We got
Yankees are just bad.
In August, the Mets stink. Phillies are not great. Boston's not great. St. Louis isn't. Seattle's okay. Cubs are not great. A's are terrible. Seattle's and Pittsburgh's The month is August.
That's my point. August or September.
Who's the best team that they play in August?
In August, let me...
Seattle?
Mets. Honestly, because they're starting to turn it around, I'd go Philly. But it's... And I mean, I don't know if the Cubs are going to keep this up. They're like, I think, winners of 11 of the last 14. They've recently just turned it on. It's like, to me, it's Chicago or Philly.
They ain't, a Houston or a Rays or a Braves or a Dodgers.
No, not a team that you're just like is going to like,
No.
could smoke you. No. Yeah. And there's, trades and stuff between them that could gut out any of these teams. That's why I say it's August or September is the only time where you could even potentially get a chance. Is because other teams are going to gut themselves, and also they're just going to stop trying. Probably still won't happen, but it's just fun.
It's an overreaction, and it's not even close.
They could potentially. That's game 136 to game 161. That is 25 games. They could go 13 and 12 in a month. And that month particularly because no one's going to care. No one's going to try.
No, they're not winning. They're not having a winning month. No. They brought you back in, man. They brought you back in.
All
just
way.
2 games against the Rays, and they just sucked you back in.
All the way. I've bitten hard on the hook. It's deep. Which is going to hurt so much when Cleveland sweeps in this next 3-game set. 4-game set, 3-game set, whatever it is. 3-game set.
That's why we call it the Royal Caster. There'll
just be a big vacant stare in my eyes when that happens.
If they would have won yesterday, oh my goodness.
Oh, folks.
It would have been a party. Bad. It would have been real bad. Jeff was our winner of the Royals ticket, so appreciate you calling in, Jeff. So we gave away our Royals tickets today. Coming up next, we'll finish things off with a little Royals baseball here on Mic'd Up. Mic'd up. We've got we had two Hall of Famers for the Shawnee County Sports Hall of Fame, Mike Wilhoite and Kyle Weems, and then in the 12 o'clock hour, which seemed a long time ago, talked with Chris Barnes, bowling legend.
You ever come close to rolling a perfect game?
The best I've ever bowled was in high school. I was in a class called Advanced PE.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you went out and you did activities. Basically, we did. So we would go bowling, and I am not lying to you. I bowled a 212. That was the best I've ever bowled. Was a 212.
Okay.
I've never bowled a 200 ever.
Okay.
Since.
Yeah.
But that's the best that I've ever bowled. That's the close to 212. Have you bowled a perfect game?
Oh, no. I'm bad. Never broken 200. I've broken 100 a few times.
See, I could have talked with Chris Barnes for another 2.5 hours just on the math side of it. But that's interesting because he was an old school one-handed guy.
Yeah.
And now his son and everybody does the two hands.
Yeah.
That's like the invention of the 3-point shot and everything, man. It's just completely changing the game.
I love bowling.
I go bowling with
It's so fun.
a couple of pitchers.
Yeah.
And we're not talking baseball.
Yeah.
But we'll talk with Kevin Bordewick tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Crystal Kemp. Fun fact about Crystal Kemp, she played at Topeka High, graduated in 2002. I went to Salina Central. I graduated in 2003. We were both part of the I-70 League. When I tell you that Crystal Kemp gave the Mustang women buckets,
gave your school squad the business.
Oh man, she was good, really good. So that'll be fun reminiscing, watching or talking about her dropping, I think 30 at the dungeon against the Mustang team that year. She was really good. We'll talk with Crystal Kemp coming up on Wednesday, and then Rick Peterson. Pistol going into the Hall of Fame. He is. We call him. He should be Mr. High School Sports is what his nickname really should be.
It could, but it's not as snappy as Pistol is.
It's not. The
best part of Pistol is how snappy it is.
I mean, he's been covering the city of Topeka high school sports since 1989.
Yeah. He's been doing it longer than I've been on this planet Earth.
Pistol's a legend, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that right there.
Yeah,
he hates talking about himself, but we're going to get him in here.
Oh, we're going to make him.
And we're going to have him talk.
No, he doesn't get a choice. He is being forced to.
Bordewick's the same way.
Yeah. No,
we're going to talk with
a
Kevin
fight
tomorrow, and I'm going to be like, so you're the best overall coach in the entire state. And he's going to be like, Jake, stop. I'm going to be like,
no.
State
champ
like,
in volleyball. I'm like, dude, brother, look at all your state titles.
Exactly. In multiple sports.
Yes.
Multiple. And we're not talking about, like football and then track and field where it's like, hey, run fast. We're talking volleyball and basketball.
Yeah.
And they're back to back. The guy doesn't get a break, man.
No.
So we'll talk with Kevin Bordewick coming up in the 2 o'clock hour coming up tomorrow. Daniel Lynch, the most important guy the rest of the year for the Royals. And maybe we'll expound on this a little bit more
He's
tomorrow.
One of them. On the pitching side, to me, yes. Because there's other dudes that are just... Because Daniel Lynch's ceiling is better than all of them.
Mm-hmm.
If Daniel Lynch keeps this up and gives you the ceiling of a 2, then you are in a better spot for next season. You're in a better spot for what you may need to go get in the off season. And John Sherman, if he wants his big fancy stadium, needs to buy some players, and he can know better where he is. At least if Daniel Lynch throughout the rest of this year shows something, you can hope that it's not a 1-year flash like Brady Singer. And the fact that Lynch has a better pitch mix makes me think it is more likely to be sustainable. then you got a pitcher to build around. You got at least one. If Dan can't keep this up, you got 0.
Mm-hmm.
And 1, in this case, infinitely better than 0.
Coming up next, we'll wrap things up with the mic drop. Up with the mic drop. Fulton, what do you got?
Finale of the Men's College World Series tonight. Game 3. It's going to be fun. I'm going to watch it. I think Florida wins. Not just because the last 5 teams that have forced to Game 3 in the Men's College World Series have been the teams that won. They were the ones I thought could win it about a week or so ago when Jake asked me about it. And I just think that offense is so good. That offense is so good. I don't know who they're throwing on the bump tonight. There's chances of a couple different guys. I think even Jack Caglione, if he doesn't get the start, could potentially at least pitch a few innings tonight. But it's just that Florida offense didn't put up 24 runs by accident.
Alrighty. We've got an update on the don't put your hands off your keyboard. We've got an update on the College World Series Jello Shot Challenge. This is just updated an hour ago. How many Jello shots has LSU taken down?
Have we broken 40,000? I'm going to say we broke 40,000.
I need a number.
I'm going to say 40,200.
All right, here's an update. LSU, 57,387 is the Jello shot number. That's incredible.
They're insane.
Coming up next, we got 580 Sports Talk.